our baseball teams are making their deepest run in the playoffs in over 7 years, while Naperville Boys Lacrosse and North Girls Soccer competed at the state series this weekend. Hello Naperville sports fans, and welcome to our final regular season episode of NSW. Next week marks the award show where we select our top teams, players, and plays from the year. Let's get into today's show with Bennett and Waubonsee Baseball competing at sectionals.
Bennett Academy Baseball matches up against St. Francis in the sectional finals. The Red Wings come in off a 3-0 win in 9 innings against Burlington Central in the sectional semifinals. St. Francis comes in off a shutout of its own after a 14-0 win against Dixon. After a Nathan Siraki walk to start the game, Luke Wilds batting for the Red Wings as Nolan Gallup pitching for the Spartans. Taking advantage of the wild pitch, Siraki dashes to home plate for the first score of the game. The Spartan pitcher avoids further damage with a strikeout to end the inning. In the bottom of the first, Gallup steps up to the plate for the Spartans. Zach Meduzia advances to third base on defensive indifference. Later, with the bases loaded for the Spartans, Bennett starting pitcher Gino Zagoric avoids the damage by getting the final out on Colt Armbrust by strikeout. In the top of the second, Red Wing Luke Stachwick singles on a hard ground ball towards center field as Quinn Rooney advances to home plate. Bennett leads 2-0 in the early going. After 2 strikeouts and a walk, the bases are loaded for Bennett's Merrick Sullivan. Sullivan clears the bases on a line drive double towards left field as Ethan Mendez, Stashwick, and Siraki add to the Red Wing lead. Early in the top of the third, Brady Carroll gives the Spartans some momentum, catching Josh Gugora's fly in foul territory for the out. Gallup finishes out the inning strong after getting the final out on Mendez by strikeout to keep St. Francis in the game. Moving to the top of the fifth, Sullivan doubles on a fly ball to center field as Siraki advances to third after reaching base for a third time. The Red Wing offense keeps their foot on the gas after a wild pitch allows Sullivan to score. The Red Wings lead 7-0 entering the bottom of the fifth. Bennett raising their defensive intensity, right fielder Luke Wilds catches the fly out. Showing off his arm talent, Zagoric gets the strikeout on Spartan Ian Bagaconza as Bennett is 3 outs away from a sectional title. In the bottom of the seventh, St. Francis looking to keep their season alive. Colin Armbrust grounds out to Bennett shortstop Ethan Mendez. Zagoric has himself a day. The pitcher finishes off the Spartans' hopes with a strikeout for his 6th strikeout of the game to complete a one-hitter. Bennett Academy wins its first sectional championship since 2017 after a 7-0 victory over St. Francis. The Red Wings advance to Super Sectionals to take on Washington on Monday night.
For a second straight season, Waubonsee Valley takes the field in the baseball sectional final after a 4-1 semifinal win over Lockport. This matchup is personal for the Warriors because it's a replay of last season's sectional final, with that opponent being Downers Grove North. The Trojans took down the Warriors in walk-off fashion last season and look to keep their bats hot after an 8-0 win over Plainfield North. Warriors are already up 1-0, and Shane Torres makes it 2-0 with an RBI single, and that is your score through 1. Nick Lambert takes the mound after throwing a complete game shutout in the regional final win over West Aurora. In the bottom of the second, there's a runner on, but Lambert keeps his cool and strikes out the side. In the third, Josh Hung gets a crack at it, and thanks to a bad throw, Hung beats the tag and is safe. The Trojan infield hits spy mode because Jack Ramsey throws to Luke Fordotsky at second to nab Hung, and DGN gets out of a jam. However, Hung redeems himself by ripping a liner into right center, and here comes a speedy Owen Roberts to tally another base run for the Warriors as they lead 3-0. Up next is Shane Torres, who rips a fly ball into fair territory. Hiroshi Wong gets the green light to score, and it's a 4-0 lead for the green and gold. Hung makes his way through the diamond because here's a passed ball, and Hung sprints home. It's 5-0 Warriors heading into the bottom of the 5th. The Trojans finally get some life thanks to Jack Ramsey as his bloop gets down for a single. Emilio Gandaria hopes to pitch in with a line drive until Hiroshi Wong extends his glove and makes the catch. Great concentration by Wong. As for Lambert, he stays on point all game and ends it himself by fielding the ball and running to first base for the final out. For the first time since 2005, Waubonsie Valley is your baseball sectional champs after a 5-0 win over Downers Grove North. The Warriors will move on to the Super Sectional, where they'll face Normal at Illinois Wesleyan on Monday night.
Teams out in California have mostly dominated water polo, and one Naperville North alum is making her presence felt with a Division I team in LA. Coming up, we'll give you our latest Where Are They Now on Anna Tarantino playing for Loyola Marymount.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
The import tariff is here, but at Fair Oaks Ford, we'll help you beat the tariff with a large selection of American-made in-stock vehicles right now. For a limited time, lock in pre-tariff pricing on select new Ford models and save thousands. From America, for America. And right now, we're offering employee pricing for all. You pay what we pay. Now that's what we call fair. Don't miss your chance to beat the tariff at Fair Oaks Ford in Naperville.
Collegiate water polo is a sport dominated by West Coast schools and athletes. No team outside of California has ever finished better than 3rd in the 20-plus years of the NCAA tournament. Despite the growth of water polo in the Midwest, 2021 Naperville North graduate Anna Tarantino knew she needed to head to the coast if she wanted to compete with the best college water polo players the world had to offer.
I wanted to go to California. My brother went to USC, and so that kind of opened the door for me. And water polo, we all know in Illinois, is not the biggest sport, not very popular, but in California, I knew I wanted to compete at the highest level and be a part of a great team, and LMU gave me that.
To prove she had what it took in California, Tarantino needed to show she belonged while playing for one of the best programs in the state of Illinois. Following a promising youth water polo career that began during the summers at Crest Creek Country Club, Tarantino joined Naperville North as a freshman in 2018. She spent the next 4 years developing into one of the top players in the state. The Huskies finished 3rd at state in 2018 and as the state runners-up in 2019, with Anna being named first-team All-State following both seasons. North entered 2020 with dreams of breaking through and winning the first title in program history under legendary head coach Andy McWhorter. But the COVID-19 pandemic shut down the spring sports season that year, giving Tarantino just one final chance to earn that elusive state championship with the blue and orange.
I think missing out on my junior year and everyone, the seniors that year that weren't able to compete, I think we would have won that year 100%, full faith on that, but just totally drove us to be more competitive my senior year. It had to be done. We were winning, that no question asked.
The 2021 Huskies backed up that bravado with a perfect 29-0 record, capped off by a dominant state championship victory over Stevenson. Tarantino led the state by scoring over 150 goals that spring and was named the Illinois Water Polo Player of the Year. After an All-State and All-American season, Tarantino was recruited to continue her career at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, going undefeated right after COVID, all of that happening, I think that year really solidified me wanting to take my water polo career further and pursue it as much as I could and go to LMU and all of that. And I just think it set up such a strong foundation for me and how competitive water polo can be, but also how fun it is to be on a winning team and be a part of something. And our team was like a family, and honestly, it was one of the most fun seasons I've ever had. I just remember seeing how happy Andy was that day and all of our coaches and families, and it was amazing. It really was.
Despite being the only player from the Midwest on the roster, Tarantino has thrived, improving year after year under the California sun for one of the top programs in the nation.
Honestly, it's really nice to be able to train outdoors also in California. It's beautiful. LMU's campus is beautiful, and academically, everything lined up perfectly with my degree in education, and I'm getting my 4+1, my master's degree, so academically, everything worked out. Athletically, it was just the perfect match for me, and great location, great team. My team's really cool. Since I was a freshman, I think I'd say 70% of my team's international, and so I've met people from all over the world. We have an Olympian on my team. We have girls from really everywhere, which has been so cool to immerse myself in that.
2025 proved to be her most successful season yet, setting new career highs with over 50 goals and 30 assists as the Lions won the Gold Coast Conference regular season and tournament championships, advancing to the NCAA Women's Water Polo Tournament for the first time since 2012. Playing back in the Midwest in front of friends and family at the IU Natatorium in Indianapolis, Loyola Marymount eventually fell 11-8 to defending national champion UCLA in the NCAA quarterfinals.
Just being at the tournament in general, being in that pool, swimming over the NCAA logo, our introductions, it was a dream. It really was.
With one final season in her water polo playing career before graduating with an elementary education degree, Anna Tarantino hopes to end on a high note with her LMU teammates before returning to her hometown to give back to the game, the school, and the city she loves.
I do want to come back to Naperville, and that's been a lifelong dream of mine since 3rd grade, to come back here and teach in an elementary school and to hopefully coach here at Naperville North. So that will kind of be my next transitioning into being more of a coach figure.
For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Justin Cornwell.
Naperville North girls soccer made it back to the state series for the first time since 2019. Let's see how the Huskies did when we return from the break.
In these complicated times, local news has never been more important. DailyHerald.com lets you stay connected to your community, wherever you are.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
Naperville North girls soccer returns to the state semifinals for the 10th time in program history and the first since capturing the state title in 2019. The Huskies square off with Lane Tech, making its first ever appearance in the IHSA State Series. North advanced with a dramatic penalty shootout win over Wheaton South, while the champions punched their ticket by beating York 1-0. 2 minutes in, and Tennessee commit Claire DeCook wins the ball back for North. She beats her defender with a nice move and crosses to Addison Sitzman, who can't get enough power on it, as Cynthia Waller makes the save. Moments later, Minnesota commit Emily Bisher makes a nice clearance that's also a pass to DeCook, who once again shows off a nice touch to break free. DeCook charges forward, looks for an option, and decides to take it herself. The shot is a tester, but Waller punches it over the bar for a corner. The corner brings a free kick for North after a Lane Tech handball. Bisher sends a low-driven shot, which is stopped by Waller. Lauren Perez there for the rebound, but Waller denies it. It somehow doesn't cross the line, but it's all Huskies just 5 minutes in. DeCook takes it down the left wing, and she picks out Para inside the box, whose shot knocks off the post. Para's been inches away from putting North up, but we're still scoreless after 10 minutes. Abby Penn sends a throw in to Cook, who waits and sends another cross to Para. The sophomore forward gets a foot on a tough volley, but once again Waller's a brick wall in nets. She stops the shot and corrals the rebounds to keep it 0-0. Brooke Welch now takes it down the right side for the Huskies. She finds Cook, who backheels the ball to set up the shot, and she scores. The Huskies finally break through off a great play from Welch and Cook. Under a minute later, Cook looks for Isa Polavieja on the cross. It ends up testing Waller off the crossbar, but Sylvia Cervenka clears it for the champions. Natalie Pontecorvo heads it on to Kennedy Birch, who lofts it to Michelle Runn at the far post. Waller denies the chance, and Olivia Field sends it out for Lane Tech. Into the second, and Kathy takes possession, heads down the right side, and tries to find a teammate in the box. Penn, however, is there for North, sending it out for the clearance. The champions now have a free kick, and Grace Carmen sends it in. The ball bounces around, and Caitlin Shane shoots, but Bisher and Oxner team up to keep the ball out. Lane Tech has found a groove to open the half. But just when the champions are getting into the game, Cook gets the throw in from Raddick, and she serves up another Husky goal. It deflects off a defender as the Huskies are up 2-0 with 25 minutes left, thanks to Cook's 15th goal this season. Moments later, Alexa Sertic finds Sitzman in the middle of the fields. Sitzman dances between two defenders, beats another off the dribble, and breaks free for a shot, which is saved by Waller. 15 minutes left, and Lane Tech is applying the pressure. Rebecca Loverde has it and takes the one-on-one into the box, firing a low curling shot to the bottom right corner. A perfect finish from Loverde for her 17th goal, and it keeps the champions' hopes alive in the state semi. Lane Tech goes again. Luz-Marie Razzo fires one off the crossbar, and it falls to Shane, whose shot goes right into the hands of Oxner. It's just the second and third shots all game for the champions. With a free kick from a dangerous spot, Carmen sends it into the box. Kathy gets a look, but her shot deflects off a Husky and is stopped by Oxner. And that's the final whistle. Naperville North holds off Lane Tech 2-1 and punches its ticket to the state championship against O'Fallon. The Huskies dominate the stat sheet, outshooting the champions 16-4. They now look to capture their fourth state title since 2012 under head coach Steve Gullitz. Naperville North girls soccer takes on O'Fallon in the 2025 3A state championship. The Huskies return to the final for the first time since their 2019 state title, while the Panthers aim for a third title in 5 years. They won it all in 2021 and 2023. O'Fallon punched its ticket with a 2-1 win over Barrington, while North also advanced with a 2-1 victory against Lane Tech. Just 2 minutes in, the Huskies are on the front foot. Alexa Sertic wins back possession, and Addison Sitzman uses a pair of slick touches to free herself up for a shot, but it bends wide. Shortly after, Abby Penn steps up for the corner. She sends a beauty to the far post. Kennedy Birch is left unmarked, but the header just goes off target. A strong opening surge from Naperville North. Sertic again applying the pressure, this time springing Claire Cook down the sideline. The junior forward holds up, cuts inside and fires, but Panther keeper Bryn Ori is there to stop it. With 22 minutes left in the half, Penn throws it into Cook, who flicks it forward to Isa Polavieja. The captain gets a clean look, but the curling shot doesn't have the power, and Ori makes the save. Cook bodies off a defender and flies down the right side for North. She waits for her attackers before finding Sitzman in the middle. Her touch causes trouble for the Panther defense, but she can't sneak the ball in off a tough angle. O'Fallon begins to push back. Delaney Naroda holds up play and finds Sadie Mueller just outside the box. Mueller cuts inside and fires, but Olivia Oxner is there with a save. Despite some first half chances, we go to halftime scoreless. Early in the second half, DeCook turns on the burners. She blows past two Panther defenders and heads down the right. She angles a shot across goal, but Ori dives to keep it out for a great save. O'Fallon responds as Mandy Fisher finds Lila Twenhoffel, who lets one fly from distance. Oxener punches it away off the football crossbar and out for a corner. With 17 minutes left, Penn swings in another dangerous corner. The ball pinballs around. DeCook tries to slot it in, but O'Fallon stands firm to clear it. Final 10 minutes of regulation, and the Panthers have controlled much of the possession this half. Naroda sends a dangerous cross through the 6-yard box, but no one's there to finish. We're headed to overtime, still scoreless. Then, in the dying seconds of the first OT, the breakthrough. Allie Treadway picks up the ball outside the box, takes a touch, and rips one off the crossbar and in. The hero of the semifinals does it again in the state final. O'Fallon hangs on in the final 10 minutes to capture its third state title since 2021, winning it in every odd-numbered year. Naperville North finishes runner-up, but takes home its 5th state trophy since head coach Steve Gullitz took over in 2012. We'll close out the show after the break with coverage from the Boys Lacrosse State Finals. Nequa made it to the final day for a 3rd time in 4 years. But first, let's see how they got there against Lions.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO.
The import tariff is here, but at Fair Oaks Ford, we'll help you beat the tariff with a large selection of American-made in-stock vehicles right now. For a limited time, lock in pre-tariff pricing on select new Ford models and save thousands. From America, for America. And right now, we're offering employee pricing for all. You pay what we pay. Now that's what we call fair. Don't miss your chance to beat the tariff at Fair Oaks Ford in Naperville.
It's super sectional action in boys lacrosse as top-seeded Nequa Valley faces off with Lions Township. These teams met earlier in the season. Lions came out on top in a tight 8-7 game. The Wildcats are making their 7th super sectional appearance in the last 8 years and are eyeing back-to-back trips to the Final Four after a dominant 21-7 win over Andrew. Nequa gets off to a strong start, showing off crisp ball movement before the Ostendorf connection strikes once again for the Cats. Gavin finds his brother Jonathan for the first goal of the night. The Wildcats keep on attacking. Jonah Frank connects with Grant Randolph. Nequa Valley jumps out to a 2-0 lead just 2 minutes into the game. But Lions answers. Tommy Rokicki goes coast to coast and finishes it himself to get the Lions on the board. Looking for the equalizer, the Lions fire again, but Wildcat goalie Owen Barth shuts the door to preserve the 2-1 lead. On the reset, Jonathan Ostendorf turns heads with a slick behind the back goal, his 2nd of the game as he nears another hat trick. Lions won't go away. Liam brutally muscles through defenders to score, and after 1 quarter, Nequa holds a narrow 3-2 lead. We stay scoreless early in the 2nd until Daniel Brooks buries one for Lions to tie the game at 3. But Nequa answers right back. Jonathan Ostendorf feeds Jonah Frank, who fires it in to spark a Wildcat scoring run. Ostendorf stays hot, completing his hat trick to extend the Nequa lead. Just before halftime, Brady Lee breaks through for the Lions, but the Wildcats still head to the break with their largest lead of the night, up 8-4. The second half begins much like the first with a defensive battle. 5 minutes in, Rokicki finally breaks the silence with a goal for the Lions. But Nequa won't be denied. Frank attacks the defense again and buries another to hold the Wildcat lead. However, the Lions keep on pushing as Gavin Corlin finds Colin Coltgen, who scores to make it a 3-goal game heading into the fourth. Now early in the fourth, Brooks goes to work. A pump fake freezes the defender and he scores to pull Lions within 2. However, Jonah Frank delivers the dagger. His final goal of the night seals it as Nequa Valley wins the Super Sectional 10-8 and returns to the state semifinals. The Wildcats will face top-seeded Lake Forest on Thursday at 3 p.m. at Hinsdale Central. These two last met in April, with Lake Forest edging out a 2-goal win. Nequa Valley plays on the final day of the IHSA Boys Lacrosse season as they take on Wheaton Academy in the third-place matchup. The Warriors look to finish their season strong after being defeated by the New Trier Trevians 11-7. The Wildcats seek a third-place finish, coming off a 13-9 loss against this year's state champion, the Lake Forest Scouts. The Wildcats look for a shot, but it bounces off the post. Frank scoops and scores for Nequa's first points of the morning as they trail 4-1. However, Charlie Foley finds Adams and he connects with the nets once again. It sparks a Warrior scoring run midway through the first. Nequa looks for some offensive momentum as Jonathan Ostendorf looks for his teammates but can't locate anyone as he connects with the back of the nets as they trail 8-2 at the end of the first. The Wildcats have Foley trapped. However, he manages to escape for another goal to keep the Warrior offense hot at the start of the second quarter. Wheaton looks to stay hot offensively with another shot, but Wildcat goalie Owen Barth denies it. Nequa with another scoring opportunity as Frank connects with Ben Stefanski for the Wildcats' third goal of the morning. But the Warrior offense doesn't let up the brakes. Jet Yaros puts it through, sparking another Warrior scoring run. They hold a commanding 12-3 lead at the break. Wheaton picks up right where they left off to start the third, as Foley connects with Adams again for his 7th goal this morning. It sets the tone for the remainder of the game. Last effort for the Wildcats to get something going, but Foley weaves through the Wildcat defense for another Warrior goal as Wheaton Academy wins the third-place matchup 19-4. Nequa finishes in 4th place for back-to-back seasons and secures its 3rd state trophy in 4 years. That concludes our final regular episode of Naperville Sports Weekly Season 18. Come back next week for our award show, showcasing our top teams, players, and plays from the past school year. You can find full coverage of Bennett Academy and Waubonsie Baseball in the Super Sectionals, along with all our highlights, feature stories, and community sports on nctv17.org. You can also find us across all social media platforms at nctv17. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy, and we'll see you again next week.